When humanity first made contact with the Crawley Dominion, it was with the cautious optimism typical of Earth's diplomats. The Crawley were an ancient species, graceful, towering beings with luminous eyes and crowns of bioluminescent tendrils. They spoke of peace, trade, and unity. And war. Always war. Their empire was under siege by a coalition of species that saw them as weak after centuries of self-imposed isolation. Earth, still relatively new to the galactic scene, was desperate for allies. The Crawley were desperate for survival. Seemed like a match made in the stars. I, Captain Damon Reeves of the ESS Valiant, was dispatched as Earth's envoy to personally solidify the alliance. What I didn't know was how personal it would become. The first time I met Queen Silari, she stood atop the obsidian steps of her palace on Virex Prime. Her presence was magnetic, 7 feet of rippling silver skin, eyes like molten sapphires, and a voice that trembled through the air itself. When she spoke, the assembled guards knelt as one. I bowed awkwardly, feeling very human among gods. "Our fates entwine, Captain Reeves," Silari said, offering a hand that ended in elegant claw-tipped fingers. "May your strength be ours, as ours shall be yours." A simple gesture, a formal greeting, or so I thought. The alliance was ratified days later. Earth provided military advisors and specialized weaponry. The Crawley opened their vaults of ancient technology. Together, we turned the tide against the coalition forces. Victory after victory stacked up. Word spread through the stars. Earth and Crawley hand in hand were unstoppable. It was during the celebration of our most decisive win, a bloodless liberation of 3 enslaved worlds, that everything changed. The Crawley didn't celebrate like humans. There was no drunken revelry, no fireworks. Instead, they held the melding, a sacred ritual where leaders of allied forces would share a moment of deep connection, mental, emotional, and symbolic. Queen Silari personally requested my participation. "You honor me, Majesty," I said, unsure what it entailed. "Honor is mutual," she replied, her bioluminescent tendrils shifting into softer hues. "You have given my people hope. I would bind our alliance stronger than any treaty." The ritual chamber was a marvel of living crystal and flowing water. We stood facing each other on a platform as the room pulsed with faint music only partly audible to human ears. Silari stepped forward, placing her palm against my chest, directly over my heart. "Let there be no walls," she whispered. I repeated the phrase as instructed. A sudden warmth surged through me, as if our bodies resonated together. Images, emotions, fragments of thought flickered through my mind. Her loneliness, the crushing burden of leadership, the hopes she dared not voice aloud. In return, she saw my doubts, my fears, my stubborn loyalty. When it ended, we stood breathless, closer than any treaty had ever made 2 worlds. I thought it was a symbolic joining. Metaphor. How wrong I was. Months passed. The war ended. The coalition forces scattered to the void. Earth and the Crawley solidified their ties, opening embassies and joint research stations. I was promoted, offered a seat on the Intergalactic Council itself. And then Queen Silari summoned me again. I thought it was a formality, an honor perhaps for my role in the alliance. I arrived on Virex Prime to the same obsidian palace, but this time the guards bowed to me, whispering among themselves. When Silari entered, her usual regal composure was tinged with something vulnerable. "Damon," she said, stepping closer than decorum usually allowed. Her hand brushed mine. Electric shivers ran up my spine. "There is a matter we must discuss," she said, her voice unsteady for the first time since I had met her. I frowned. "Of course. What is it?" She hesitated, searching my face with her glowing eyes. Then she spoke soft but clear. I am with child. And blinked. Congratulations. Her tendrils flared, showing a pulse of agitated light. You misunderstand. It is yours. The room tilted. I must have misheard. This had to be a translation error, a misunderstanding. The melding ritual. That couldn't have. Could it? That's not possible, I said weakly. It is, Silari said. The melding, our ritual, was not merely symbolic. It is the joining of spirit, of life essence. In rare cases, when the bond is pure, when two are truly aligned. She reached for my hand, guiding it to rest gently against her abdomen. Beneath the smooth, cool surface of her skin, I felt it, a faint, unmistakable thrum of life. My child. I stumbled back, every diplomatic instinct in my body screaming. Earth had no protocols for this. Was it a scandal? A political nightmare? Would the Crawley expect marriage? Would Earth demand I resign? Would the child be seen as a threat, or a bridge between two peoples? Silari watched my turmoil with a strange, sad smile. I do not ask for chains, she said quietly. Only that you know, and that you choose. Choose. You may return to your world, Damon Reeves. No dishonor will stain your name. Or you may stay, and be father not just to a child, but to a new future for our peoples. Raise an alien child. Bind myself forever to a queen and a culture I barely understood. Or leave and pretend this never happened. I needed time. I begged for a walk in the gardens to clear my head. The gardens were a sprawling labyrinth of silver-leafed trees and soft glowing flowers. I wandered aimlessly, heart hammering. Was I ready for this? I hadn't even planned on marriage, let alone being some kind of royal consort. And yet, when I thought of Silari, of the bond we shared, of the life growing within her, a strange warmth filled me. Wasn't this what humanity had always dreamed of? True unity among the stars, beyond treaties and cold handshakes. Love, family, future. A rustling behind me broke my reverie. I turned to see Silari herself, standing uncertainly at the edge of the garden path. I could not bear to wait, she said, almost apologetically. I closed the distance between us. Silari, I said, voice low. If I stay, it's not just politics. It's because I want to. For you. For us. Her face lit with a breathtaking glow, tendrils blooming like a living crown. Then stay, she whispered. And I did. The announcement shook the galaxy. The first true human-alien hybrid. A blending of two mighty civilizations. Some called it an abomination. Others hailed it as the beginning of a new era. On Earth, the news was met with uproar and wonder. The Crawley, for their part, celebrated in ways both strange and touching. I underwent ancient rites that named me consort protector of the Dominion. Not a king exactly, but something even more profound. A chosen partner. In time, Silari bore a daughter. She had my dark hair, her mother's glowing eyes, and an aura that made diplomats tremble and soldiers pledge loyalty with a glance. We named her Selmira, hope between worlds. And as I held her for the first time, feeling her tiny heart beat against mine, I realized something. I had come seeking an alliance. I had found a future,